Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What's good, everybody? It is time for Backlash predictions 2026, 3 weeks after WrestleMania. Or has it been? Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks. Usually Backlash is like, the follow-up of WrestleMania. A lot of the stories that we see at WrestleMania kind of fall into this PLE because it is a PLE after Mania, and it's so close together. And so we are going to be going over those tonight with the Snug Crew. My name is Edgar. I am the host, and Mr. Blood and Tommy, we're all here. We're ready to go to talk about these matches, the predictions, and all that good stuff. Are y'all ready to roll tonight, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. Just to be honest, I feel like a lot of people are going to have this feeling, a lot of our listeners. Backlash is B-level pay-per-view, and that's being generous. So far, the match card feels very C tier with one match on it that anybody actually really wants to see. It genuinely does feel like it's going to be like a one-match card, in my opinion. It feels like there's a lot of filler on this. And Backlash used to be the pay-per-view that, like, it was always about the WrestleMania rematches is how they used to always try to push Backlash. But this just feels like it comes too quickly after Mania for there to be any real considerable build, or it's leftover build from shit that still happened at Mania. And it's annoying, right? Because Mania should be the PLE that ends all feuds, right? Or at least starts something new. But in my case, I feel like it should end all feuds so we can get a fresh start, because they like to tout that, oh, it's a new season of WWE, the Monday Night Raw after Mania. And then we're still dealing with shit that we've been dealing with for the last 6 months on a PLE after the grandest show of them all, right? So I'm just ready to get through Backlash, honestly. If I'm being completely honest, without sounding like a downer, I'm just ready for it to be over with, and so we can move on to the PLEs.
There are actually 2 matches that people care about, because you forget you got Roman and Jacob, and then you've also got Rollins and Breakker as well. The match that should have happened at WrestleMania. But unfortunately, due to injury with Bron Breakker, that did not happen.
See, that's the thing, though. I don't think I forgot that, Tommy. I don't think most people care about it anymore. I feel like it gets good reactions in the live studio audience, but let's be real here. That feud has cooled off too much. There's too much that has interrupted the momentum of that story, too much that has interrupted the momentum of Bron Breakker. People at one point last year were talking about Bron Breakker legitimately being the future. He's the next big thing. He's the guy. You know who they're talking about now? Obafemi. And Bron is just a guy that is in Seth's way right now, and that Seth has to get through him so he can get back to Roman. Right now, Bron feels a hell of a lot like a footnote, and has for quite some time, as has the Vision. So I don't care about this story anymore, and I don't think a lot of people do either.
Well, let's talk about the matches that aren't on the card. Before we get into the matches that are officially on this card, this Backlash before has been named WrestleMania Backlash a few years ago for a reason. It's because this was the Backlash from WrestleMania, right? It kind of goes in the name. But there's 3 matches that people were expecting, the fans were expecting, that we are not getting. One of them is the Women's World Champion, now Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. A lot of people thought we were going to get that match as a rematch, but Stephanie Vaquer has been reportedly injured. She was written off a couple of weeks ago, so we're not getting that match. That's one match that, made sense to have on this PLE. That's not going to happen. The other one is also the rematch for the Men's World Championship, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. And I have this from this article here from, what is this? Wrestling World, May 6th. This article by Newman Rasul, where they say another major change centers on Roman Reigns and CM Punk after their high-profile encounter at WrestleMania 42. Many assumed the rematch would headline Backlash for the World Championship. The rematch is no longer on the table. Reports indicate WWE has stepped away from running Reigns versus Punk again soon, while no official explanation has been publicly detailed. The decision appears tied to broader creative direction rather than injury concerns. So that was another match that, again, we were hoping to get, but we didn't. And the third and final match was that celebrity tag team match that we were supposedly going to get with good old Pat McAfee, Jelly Roll, and that whole situation.
Yeah, that was going to be Pat McAfee, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Jelly Roll. Yeah, it's. I'm glad that's not happening. Although, look, kind of the devil's advocate here for that one, because I enjoy watching Jelly Roll on my WWE television. I think he's a lot of fun. I think he takes it seriously. He respects the business. He literally bought 2 houses last year in Orlando so he could train at the Performance Center and live in one house to lose all that weight and get ready for a SummerSlam match, and then bought a second house for his crew to live in so he could still make music. That's a guy who takes the business seriously and went that far to make sure he would be up to the standards of the audience. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. I just think that people were disappointed in his involvement with the story because of TKO shoehorning McAfee. Because people weren't mad at Jelly Roll for being there. They were mad at McAfee being there, and then subsequently Jelly Roll having to be added in as a foil to McAfee. So he got some heat by proxy. But it's not on Jelly Roll. And it's not really McAfee either. It's TKO's force feeding. When it comes to Stephanie, the girl has been wrestling kind of hurt for a while now. She's been injured a couple of times. And I think it's just like, hey, let's pump the brakes. We gave you the title already. Some think it was a little too fast. Some think that her first title run was very, very blah, which is fair, but it's not her fault. It's their booking. And I think give her a break, let her rest up, let her heal up, come back. People will miss her. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. When it comes to not getting the Reigns and Punk match, I'm okay with them moving away from it, though I get annoyed by them hot potatoing the rematch clause all the goddamn time. In this case, that feud was done so well. It was the perfect feud, build, and match at Mania. If it cools off, totally fine. They don't have to automatically go back to back. If you want to hold off a little bit, fine by me. Let Punk heal up and get rested. Let Roman show that title off, high profile, and then we can come back to these guys a little bit later. I'm totally fine.
Yeah, when it comes to Roman and Punk, I don't think that Punk really needs to go after it again for a second time for a while. And I think that Jacob was the perfect person to really put in there, simply because of the fact that not only do we have that storyline driven stuff from, Bloodline 2.0, but at the same time, you've got the blood relation and how personal it can make that, instead of just bringing up the fact that he's been in jail a bunch of times. So there's that involving that match. And when it comes to Stephanie, yeah, she's been hurt for a bit. And I think that at this point, let her heal up. Let her just lay back for a bit. She'll come back stronger than ever. She proved that on NXT before. But still, let her sit for a little bit and fully heal up to make sure she's 100% to go up against someone like Liv Morgan for a second.
Yeah, and it also makes sense that they're not doing that celebrity tag team match at Backlash, because right now, as of now, technically Pat McAfee is out of the WWE. Randy Orton lost. And he said, if I lose, I'm out forever. Although he did sign that funny contract before WrestleMania that was never fucking addressed, by the way. So, yeah, so some of these matches, I'm okay with not having them on Backlash. All right, y'all. For the matches that we are going to see, so far, we have 5 matches on the card, but we still have one more SmackDown left as of right now that we're recording on the Wednesday before Friday Night SmackDown. So maybe there might be a 6th one added, but I highly doubt it. I think 5 is good enough. Let's start off with what I think is most likely going to be the main event. It's the World Heavyweight Championship, Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. We kind of touched on this a little bit on the Monday Night Raw review, but how are you guys feeling this match? I mean, I have a feeling what you guys are all going to predict here, but let them have it.
I think this is as obvious as possible. It's Roman. They're not going to have him drop the title exactly 3 weeks and a day after he went through an entire story taking it off of Punk. It's hot shot booking. It's just hot shot booking. You literally had him feud, take it off Punk, parade it around on Monday Night Raw for 3 weeks, and then drops it to Jacob. No, this is classic WWE storytelling. Jacob has been getting the better of Roman for 2 weeks now, which already feeds into the normal WWE trope of if the champion babyface is constantly getting his ass beat by either the heel or the anti-hero. In this case, Jacob is definitely a tweener. He's not a full heel. He's definitely a tweener, but he's been beating the shit out of Roman. Roman's going to win because Roman needs his comeuppance. Jacob isn't ready. Their promo battles show and tell the audience based on their own storytelling, Jacob doesn't get it yet. So he shouldn't win because it just doesn't make sense canonically, storytelling wise, or in a way that where it's rational to then just automatically take it off of Roman when he's reforming the bloodline as equals now. You're not just having him drop it. I'm sorry. I think this match will probably have the longest time on the card. If Backlash is a 2 to a 3 hour show, with the amount of ads they fucking shoehorn in down everybody's throats, you can bet every match on this show is going to be less than 12 minutes at least. With all the ads, all the entrances, I would be surprised if any match other than this one goes longer than 12 minutes. But it's going to be Roman retaining. I don't think anybody genuinely believes Jacob's.
Yeah, it's way too damn early. You're telling me that the man who has held the undisputed WWE title for over 1,000 days is going to end up dropping the World Heavyweight title 3 weeks after Mania? There is not a single person, as Blood just said, that genuinely believes that that is going to happen. It's just not. It's got to be Roman Reigns. He just has to. Jacob's not ready. He wasn't really ready from the start, honestly. He's getting there, but there are a few things that he needs to understand. One of the biggest things that we brought up on Monday is the fact that what Jacob doesn't fully understand is the fact that he's wanting to do this for his family, for his kids. Meanwhile, Roman's doing it for the entire bloodline's family, for the entire bloodlines. So Jacob is just thinking of this on his own. So at this point, it has to be Roman Reigns retaining the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, I think this is one of those matches where the outcome is pretty obvious, but I think we're all in it. Or I'm going to speak for myself. I think I'm in it for the ride because there's a lot of things that can happen here. If Roman wins, when Roman wins, that means is Jacob Fatu going to line himself up with Roman and the Usos? Is he going to acknowledge Roman? You know, is he going to join this new version of the bloodline? That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. The other option is interferences. Do we see the Usos getting involved? And do we see the MFTs or Solo Sikoa showing up because of what happened on Friday Night SmackDown? But if that's the case, it just feels like, are we going to see the same old Roman that would always retain his championships with the help of the Usos or the bloodline? Because I find it hard to believe, as much as, you know, we all agree that Jacob Fatu, there's no way he's going to be world champion this weekend. I don't think that Roman is going to beat Jacob clean. I find that hard to believe because they have to protect Jacob, right?
I think it depends, right? I think you can do this one of two ways. Either the Usos turn on Roman and that gets Jacob the win, which would be the only way I see him beating Roman because he's not doing it. Or the MFTs get involved and they attack Jacob for what he did to them last week, and that's why Roman retains. But I don't think Roman is going to retain because he cheated. I think he's going to capitalize on the MFTs trying to interfere and take out Jacob. You know it's a Roman match. You know there's going to be a ref bump. I think MFTs come in and get involved then. And I think there's a third option, but it's very fantasy booky, is that the Usos turn on Roman while the MFTs attack Jacob, and now they're both on the ground and no one's on either person's side, and Roman just crawls over Jacob to retain for the pin. Those are the only three options I see. But I don't think this match ends in any fashion that's clean. There's no way. You're correct. They're going to want to protect Jacob. You're damn sure bet your ass that they're going to protect Roman. So MFTs is what I'm leaning on, costing Jacob the match for sure. But I also don't like the fact that they randomly just shadow fucking drafted Jacob over to Raw anyway. And it would have been nice in these last two promos if we had some kind of explanation of, hey, you beat me fine, but if you don't, you fall in line. You acknowledge me. Like, that should have been hearkened on. I'm hoping with SmackDown, maybe we get one other thing from the Usos in a promo to Jacob, because they've been on SmackDown the last couple of weeks. And they go, hey, the Tribal Chief says, you lose, you acknowledge him, you joined a family, whatever. But I also have a feeling there's the reason I mentioned the Usos turning on Roman. Remember when they were interviewed by, I think it was Jackie Redmond or Kathy Kelly backstage before they went into Roman's room? They said, we're just here to make sure the Tribal Chief is good and nothing pops off. We got the Tribal Chief's back. How come when he was getting his ass beat and choked out in the Tongan Death Grip, the Usos never showed up?
Yeah, that's a good question. The other possibility is that this is just a clean one-on-one, because the story seems like it's very personal between Jacob and Roman. I mean, it could be just a straight up one-on-one also, but I mean, the fifth and final option here that I'm going to throw at you guys, and I want to hear both of your thoughts on this as well. Since JC Mateo and Tonga Loa were recently let go, they were released, right? Do you think they're crazy enough to bring in another Samoan now that they're like, oh, well, we got rid of these two guys. Maybe we got room to bring some more people in?
I absolutely think that's a possibility. I don't know how Solo, because here's the thing, the MFT group was kind of overstuffed anyway with a lot of background henchman characters that had no fleshed out characters, no real direction. It was a waste of Jeff Cobb's time as JC Mateo. I don't think, and I generally think Tonga Loa, all respect to the guy for making it into the biggest company for professional wrestling in the world. He was not ready for it. Tama is absolutely the better wrestler and performer between the two, who seems to have a better mind for the business, doesn't seem to get nervous, doesn't seem to mess up when it really counts. But here's the problem. They're already showing Tama having cracks with Solo. So unless Solo, and they just drop the Tama and Solo drama entirely, and it remains a three-man group, if it doesn't and Tama leaves, they're going to have someone replace him, because it can't just be Solo and Tala. So, because Tala can't barely do shit. He's a more mobile Great Khali. So when it comes down to it, we could see Zilla Fatu debut. But the thing is, how do you do that where it makes sense? Because Zilla was very vocal about Solo stealing his father's shtick. Because Zilla Fatu's dad, if I remember correctly, is the late great Umaga. So, and everybody knows that Solo is kind of this watered down version of who Umaga was supposed to be. He's like a mix of Umaga and one of his older gimmicks, Rosie, the comedy shtick mixed with the serious Samoan beat. But if Zilla debuts, I could see that causing a problem. But then it would mean that it would have to be in Roman's favor, and it's Zilla attacking Jacob. Because I don't know why they would help Roman.
Tommy, where do you land on all this when it comes to the shenanigans and what we could see come out of this match between Roman and Jacob?
There's only one man I can think of, and Blood literally just said it. Zilla Fatu. The IWC as a whole has been trying to push WWE to finally sign this man. He is the one Samoan that everybody knows that isn't already in WWE or wasn't formerly in WWE. The Zilla Fatu has been known in the indies and all across completely. So if anyone is to be brought in that's Samoan, it's gotta be Zilla Fatu.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of predict. I mean, I'm not gonna say, oh, this is exactly what they're gonna do, but with what's been happening with the MFTs and Roman Reigns creating the new bloodline again, I think they're just gonna fucking do the MFTs and the bloodline clash, a feud faction or some crazy like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great possibilities here between Roman and Jacob. That, again, the outcome a little predictable, but the ride is going to be really interesting, I think. All right, y'all. This next match is the match that I'm looking forward to the most. Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. The match that we were supposed to get at WrestleMania, and it didn't happen. Both of these guys got injured, unfortunately. But I mean, this is this has been ongoing for at least a year. When Bron Breakker turned on Seth Rollins after everything that Seth Rollins did for Bron Breakker, taking him under his wing, Bron Breakker being the next big thing, no pun intended, the future of the company is what a lot of people believe that Bron Breakker is. Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins. I mean, he can have a good match with just about anybody. Just WrestleMania versus Gunther, ice cold match. They made that shit hot. The people were eating it up. So this is going to be another banger of a match, man. I'm looking forward to it because Seth Rollins is going to make Bron Breakker look like $1 million, dude. This is going to be fun. But who do you guys think is going to win it?
I'm going to say this as plainly as possible, and everybody listen to me. It needs to be Bron Breakker because he's been cooled off too much. This story started a year ago, the night after WrestleMania, and Braun and Bronson were relegated to heavy fucking henchmen for about 2-3 months before they finally decided, let's give him some personality. Okay. Then they have the turn on him last fall, which was in like October, November. Then he was getting really good momentum. He was the scariest, biggest name on the roster, right? The one that really everything was behind. He gets injured. Bronson gets injured. Logan and Theory become the two main players of the division. And not even good enough to where Paul Heyman wants to stick by him because he's too preoccupied with Brock Lesnar. So the entire Vision group gets cooled off. Entire group gets cooled off for way too fucking long enough that the vacuum that came in and got sucked up by the next potential star power in that of Oba Femi is now all anybody is talking about when they were talking about Bron Breakker. And now Braun has lost that place, in my opinion, and has been replaced by Oba. So you need Braun to win this to get his momentum back. I think Seth can easily eat this fucking loss and it not hurt him. I think Braun was meant to win this feud from the get-go anyway, because how else are you going to solidify the future unless the future beats the past? And as far as it goes, Braun already got injured. He already lost to CM Punk. He's got to get something here. So I'm going Bron Breakker.
If there's one thing Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins all have in common, it's that they can take a massive hit and still keep the majority of the momentum that they have. So I'm going Bron Breakker, not just because of everything that Blood said, because boy, is that true, but at the same time, look at how long Breakker has been. He has been out on injury for months and just got back at WrestleMania. So with that being said there, it has to, because he's got to build up all that momentum that he lost while he was out on injury. And boy, is that a lot of momentum that man just lost. So it's got to be Breakker.
Oof. I think one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to this match is because I can't decide who I want to see win it, if I'm being honest. I mean, normally I would say Bron Breakker, right? But WrestleMania and Backlash are two completely different stages. Bron Breakker defeating Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, hell yes. That would be a great fucking moment. A big win for Bron Breakker. But in Backlash, I don't think it carries the same weight. I don't know if beating Seth Rollins at a Backlash, actually, yeah, that does say, it does mean a lot. It's Seth Rollins, it's a PLE. But I think for this feud to continue, which I do want to see this feud continue, I think Seth Rollins has to win. Because if Bron Breakker beats Seth, then, I mean, that's pretty much one and done, right? I mean, what, Seth Rollins is going to come back after Bron Breakker if he loses to Breakker? I don't know, man. I see Seth Rollins winning at Backlash, and that'll get Bron Breakker pissed off, excuse me, knowing the hothead that he is, and he's just going to want to keep coming after Seth Rollins, keep attacking Seth Rollins. I wouldn't be against that.
I think the one thing you're forgetting, however, is that Seth needs to move on from. It's been a year of this story. It has lost nearly all of its energy, a good amount of its fanfare. People have just moved on from it. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's WrestleMania or it's Backlash. Does it mean more at WrestleMania for Braun to beat Seth? Of course, it means more at WrestleMania for anybody to beat anybody at WrestleMania. But at the end of the day, if Braun loses at Backlash, the fans are going to lose faith in Braun. They're not going to believe that the company believes in pushing him anymore because they wouldn't even put the title on him when he was versing CM Punk on a Monday Night Raw. And they tore up the internet saying it was the wrong choice. It should have been Braun. He should have been Punk. They don't believe in him. They're already cutting out his legs, yada, yada. So imagine he loses to Seth, who is not a champion, on a B-tier PLE. The fans will stop getting behind Braun and think that WWE has just lost interest in him and that the experiment is over and all this other crap, because no one's going to want to sit through more build to the next PLE a month after that and keep seeing this story dragged on and on like a dead horse. People are literally going to want Seth to start moving on towards on to fucking Roman. That's the story. That's the story people are looking for, and we saw that stare down on Monday. You get through Backlash, let Roman get done with Jacob, let Rollins make his way back to Roman throughout the summer, and let Braun move on to also maybe trying to get Roman, or I don't know why they haven't already started a feud with Oba and Braun. Let those guys go at it for a bit. The crowd would eat that the fuck up. Let them both build their stock. That's a great feud right there, because you could think.
Well, let me jump in here really quick, Mr. Blood. Let me jump in here.
Well, I was making a really good point here.
I know, but before I forget, so the only thing with what you're saying is that Bron Breakker beating Seth Rollins, that is going to get this feud, over for Seth Rollins, because he has to move on from it. Yes, that's a good point. This has been going on for a while, even though they were both injured and off TV for quite some time. But Bron Breakker beat Seth Rollins, and then he moves on to Roman Reigns. That doesn't add up to me.
Well, no, that's what
also another thing. Hold on,
I had the reason for that.
Hold on, give me a second. And then the other thing too is a feud like this that's been going on for this long, this blood feud, it has to have some type of like big blow off match. Like maybe I see Braun and Seth running this thing back maybe one or two times. Some type of, I don't know. I know I hate these types of matches, but Street Fight or Hell in a Cell or this feud, I feel like has to have something like that.
The only way I think the people really care about continue is if there's interference that costs Seth the match and it's not clean. But if Braun beats Seth fucking clean, move on. Because I got news for you. There's two matches that I think that people really want to see. Seth versus Roman, because Seth needs to win the title back that he never lost, and I can see that happening at the end of the summer. But also, Roman never beat Seth clean. That is the last story we need to tell between them. So if Seth beats Roman for that title this into this summer, Braun comes after Seth for it again. That's where we get the let the feud cool off and end, and then restart it for a championship. And in the meantime, here's the thing you give Braun. Hey, you know what we need to do? The vision, my vision? Obafemi took out the beast Brock Lesnar. He took out one of our own. We need to go after him. And you set Bron Breakker and the vision after Oba. And we get Braun versus Oba over the summer. Because that doesn't need a title for the people to want to see that shit. You get to see the powerhouse fucking crazy guy in Braun versus Oba. They say you're the future. They've been calling me the future. Let's see which one of us is the actual future of this. That right there is a great summer feud that doesn't need a title. A story's already baked in. You took out fucking Lesnar. Now we're going to take you out instead. Perfect cool off feud for Braun that the fans would eat the hell up. And then you let Seth make his way back to Roman. He beats Roman at SummerSlam if that's the plan. And guess what? Braun then takes it off of Seth in the fall. Now he's the champion.
Yeah, that's all good and dandy, Mr. Blood, but I mean, you're one of the ones that always calls out the continuity of things, right? So Braun beats Seth, but Seth beats Roman. So I just don't understand how Rollins can't beat Braun, but then he goes on to beat Roman.
Because the difference is Seth has beaten Roman every time they faced. And the difference is on top of that, so he's already got the proof of concept. You know what else Seth has done that Bron Breakker's never done? He's beaten Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes at WrestleMania. So on top of that, you know who else has done that? Oba Femi. So now if you have Oba versus Braun, let's see who comes out of that. It should be Braun, but it should be dirty, not clean, to keep Oba strong. Oba can eat the loss to Braun if it's dirty. And then you let Braun take it off of Seth in the fall, because we've never seen Braun versus Roman one-on-one. We saw Bronson versus Roman. I guarantee you there are a lot of people who do believe that Bron Breakker could beat Roman if Roman doesn't have help, because Roman almost couldn't beat CM Punk.
Yeah, that's a match we definitely need to get. Bron Breakker versus Roman Reigns is a match we definitely need to get. Maybe next WrestleMania, but we're getting a little bit way ahead of ourselves. Tommy, where do you land on all of this? Any thoughts?
Don't really have much, because Blood basically just said the entire line right there. It works. Everything that Blood just said, storyline-wise, continuity-wise, it works perfectly. And it leads to the one thing that should have happened a while ago, which is Bron Breakker as World Heavyweight Champion.
Whoa, that was fun. I think we should call it now. And then on a high note, no, I'm just kidding. No, but because the other three matches is just like, I mean, we got the United States Championship is going to be on the line. Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. This is, the backlash of WrestleMania. This is a WrestleMania rematch, right? I didn't watch SmackDown, but I saw all the discourse online about the build-up to this match. I don't know what happened, and I'm not gonna give my thoughts on this because I didn't see it live, but a lot of people are not happy with this build-up because it had to do with a gingerbread man and a funeral and Sami Zayn turning into Lord Farquaad or some shit like that. And now I'm finding out that this match is on Backlash. Now, without knowing much about this feud, Trick Williams just won it at WrestleMania. I want to say that he's going to retain, but then again, it is Sami Zayn, aka Sammy Hogan, what a lot of people like to call him. I don't know, man. I'm not too thrilled about this, but where do you guys land on it?
I love that they call him Sammy Hogan when he loses almost just as much as he. But at the end of the day, I didn't see SmackDown either because we took a week off last week, but I saw the clips. And it's one of those bits of booking where you look at it and you go, fuck me, is Vince back there writing shit? It was cringy and corny as fuck. Like, literally, Trick Williams standing backstage getting interviewed while one of the doc trainers comes out, looks at Trick Williams and shakes his head because Sammy beat the fucking gingerbread so bad that apparently he died backstage in the trainer's room. And now you got Trick Williams cutting a promo in the camera about Sammy taking out his boy, the gingerbread man. I'm like, the fuck am I watching? Okay? You guys are supposed to be making Trick Williams cool, right? This makes him cool. Shrek 1 humor from 25 years ago because Sammy's a ginger. Oh, that's so funny. Sammy's a redhead. You know who else is a redhead? Oh, it's so fucking stupid. It's so bullshit corny. I honestly hope that Sammy wins it back so he can turn heel to win it back and we can take this shit in a serious fucking direction. Because this is ridiculous. It's so fucking stupid. The only other way I could see Trick retaining is if Trick retains and then Sammy jumps him, snaps after the fucking match, and turns heel post-match. But just because I'm so mad at all of this, and it's so stupid, and I honestly, genuinely, I like Trick. But I'm not one of the fans that's fully behind him yet. I haven't fully bought into him yet because I think his promos need work. He's great in ring, but a lot of his shit's the same. He says the same shit every fucking week, and it's boring, and it's not new. It doesn't move him forward, doesn't make him look better. He's repeating himself like a fucking record tape. So I want Sammy to win it just so Sammy can turn heel to win it. I want Sammy to cheat blatantly in the match on purpose and do a full double turn, because technically Trick is still a heel. So I want a double turn in this match. Sami goes apeshit, gets it back by fucking Trick over. That's what I want. Sami to win it back with a fucking full-blown heel turn in the middle of the match.
I don't know which way to go. I really don't, because on one hand, Trick Williams is absolutely holding that title. He's holding it pretty good right now. But at the same time with that, you've also got the Vince McMahon / fucking Chat GPT sounding fucking booking with the gingerbread man supposedly being dead, and them having a funeral literally on Friday for this fucking mascot, because that's exactly what's happening. They full-blown announced it last week. They will be having a funeral for the gingerbread man on Friday. It is so dumb. But at the same time, there's a key player here. I am going to remind you, Trick Williams was the reason Carmelo Hayes didn't get it back. So, with that, maybe Carmelo Hayes ends up returning, because we haven't seen him since that match with Sam. So, there's that key player there. So, oh God, Sami. I'm going Sami. And I think at this point, he wins via Carmelo Hayes getting him.
The last thing I want to say real quick, too, is what's so bad about all of this is how do you get a new fan into, how do you, all the people who defend pro wrestling, from all the naysayers, all the people who think it's stupid soap opera bullshit, who say, oh, it's that hokey crap, oh, it's fake, it's this. How do you defend your love of pro wrestling to someone if you were like, hey, come over to my house, let me show you wrestling, let me get you in. If you watch one episode, I promise you'll love it. And you get them to sit down after you've wasted your money on cable to watch 3 hours of SmackDown, and then they get to this part of the story. Maybe they liked the first couple of segments, right? And then this shit pops up. What's going on? So what's this segment about? Oh, they're having a funeral for a dead gingerbread man that Sami Zayn killed last week. Say that with a straight face to your fucking friends and expect them to go, oh, bro, this shit's hype as fuck, bro. No, they're going to be like, the fuck do you watch? It's one of those things where it's embarrassing to be a wrestling fan. Even though wrestling comes with the carny, hokey shit, and that's fine. We love it when it's done well and it's done tastefully, okay? Not when it's fucking Mae Young giving birth to fucking Mark Henry's hand. Or some fucking shit like this where it's like we're having a funeral for a guy in a suit that's also a gingerbread man mascot. Well, what's the story built around? Shrek 1 here. I'm going to watch this every single week. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'll probably have to answer that tomorrow after I watch it. Because I don't know. I didn't watch any clips from it. I don't know what happened. I just saw all the hate online over it. But I want to make my own, I guess, my own thoughts about this. And I'm going to wait until the funeral tomorrow.
Save your
and
brain
then
cells.
we can talk about it. Huh?
Save your brain cells. It's also
I'm going to watch it.
It's also on Friday, not tomorrow. But save your brain cells.
Oh, damn. Looks like I'm losing that on my brain cells already. You're right, Friday. All right. Speaking of losing brain cells, apparently there's going to be a tag team match between The Miz and Kit Wilson versus Danhausen and a mystery opponent. Now, the big question is, who is this mystery opponent going to be? Who do you guys think is going to be? What do you guys expect from this? Why is this even on a fucking PLE? This is crazy to me. But yes, Danhausen, a mystery opponent versus The Miz and Kit Wilson.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything else that needed to be on this card, man. You know, except the Women's United States Championship, the Men's Intercontinental Championship, let's see, the Women's World Championship, the Undisputed Championship. Like, I could have come up with 3 or 4 other things that should have been on here before this. This is they wouldn't even put the Wyatts versus the MFTs on a PLE. It was the Friday before a PLE. They'd always have some big fucking, okay? Like, why is this here? The tag titles can't even get on the fucking PLE. Okay, so why the fuck is this here? I'm going to put it this way. I have no prediction because I've ignored this majority of the time. You can kiss my fucking ass. Danhausen is the entertaining guest. Do I give a shit about his character? No. You get fucked. As far as it's concerned, I don't care who his mystery tag partner is. It's probably something stupid. No, it's not going to be John Cena. And as far as that goes, Danhausen fucking wins because he's going to curse the ref or some shit, some stupid hijinks. He retains. I like to have fun as a wrestling fan. I do. But I don't give a fuck about this because there's a bunch of other shit that should be in its place that needs to be highlighted more, that needs actual TV time, that is more prestigious. We have 3 titles that could be on this show that aren't, for the record. So I don't care about some comedy fucking tag match that's going to go 6 stupid fucking minutes.
I have seen a page of bets on who Danhausen's tag team partner will be. Some of them are probable. Some of them are really goddamn dumb. So on this list, I saw Stephen A. Smith. I saw John Cena. I also saw Elton Prince. That one was the dumbest one, other than John Cena, because I'm like, dude, Elton Prince is technically still in a tag team with Kit Wilson. It's not going to be fucking Elton Prince. It's just not going to be. But there were 2 names on there that are very probable. And one of them is a man we brought up earlier on. And the first one is Mr. Iguana. I love Mr. Iguana. It would work because both of them are comedy-wise. It would work because he's literally in Florida because he was just on NXT last night in a mixed tag match with Lola Vice against the Culling. So there's that. The other one, well, if Jelly Roll pulls up, I'm going to remind you here that other than the Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes stuff that Jelly Roll was a part of, what was the last 2 people that man had issues? Kit Wilson and The Miz. So, would not be surprised if Danhausen decides to pull out Jelly Roll. But I'm going Danhausen for the win because both of them are correct.
Yeah, I'm kind of wishing we had that tag team between Pat McAfee and Randy and Cody instead of this. It's like, oh, we're not getting that celebrity tag team match, but we'll give you something just as goofy and silly or maybe worse. But yeah, I think it's going to be Mr. Iguana. It's just crazy to me how they're going to have this type of tag team match on a PLE that's on ESPN, which is considered like a real fucking sports network, you know, like we're going to get the most fucking entertainment ass fucking WWE match you can come up with and put it on ESPN. Like, what the fuck? But all right. Anyway, moving on. We're also going to get Io Sky versus Asuka. Again, you know, this has been going on for a long time, but I'm actually interested in this match for one reason and one reason only. It's not because I'm a fan of Io Sky or Asuka. I like both of them actually, but I haven't really been a fan of the feud. However, Kairi Sane is still being talked about a lot when it comes to this because she was released out of nowhere in the middle of this feud, right? And because of the reaction that Kairi Sane received after the news broke out from the fans, not just from the fans, but internally from WWE wrestlers that, you know, displayed like an outpouring of like tweets and messages wishing Kairi the best. There's some people that believe that this is either a work and Kairi Sane is going to pull an R-Truth and come back at Backlash to help either Io Sky or whatever the case. But the more I started reading into it, the more I started believing it because I'm like, were there any other wrestlers that got that amount of, I guess, public positive message from the locker room besides Kairi Sane? I don't know, man. Something tells me we're being worked. So as far as who's going to win, Io Sky has been losing a lot lately. So I'm going to go with Io Sky. I think she's got to get something back under her belt. But what do you guys think?
I would love to. First off, if Kairi comes back, it's not a work. I don't think it's a work at all. I think it would be them going the way of R-Truth and going, okay, fans are mad. And they're also pissed off that now it's public that we are trying to force 50% contract restructuring, pay cuts on all of our talent. And now they're fucking furious at us about the New Day. Maybe if we give them Kyrie back, they'll be like happier with us again. Because we can't get the New Day back, but maybe we can get Kyrie back because there's no way Kyrie made as much money as Xavier and Kofi combined, right? So, okay, well, you guys are mad. Here you go. Here's Kyrie. You love Kyrie. Remember you love Kyrie? See, we're not an evil company. We give you what you want, huh? So that's the only way I could see Kyrie coming back. It wouldn't be a work. It'd be them saving face. And at the end of the day, I love Io. I love Asuka a lot. I love Asuka. She's fucking incredible. I mean, the woman is almost 46 years old, and you would not know it when she steps in between those ropes. I'm going to say Io to end this feud with it in Io's favor. Hopefully with a Kyrie return finally standing up to Asuka, so we can at least book into that story. That, by the way, this story's been getting told for over a year. That's the annoying part about them kicking Kyrie out of it. She was an integral part. Remember when I originally predicted that this story was going to be about Kyrie and Asuka's like abusive relationship? I said that months ago before they fully started showing us the parts of the story where it was true. Now we're here, and the fans need closure. I will say this about this match. I think Io's winning, but I genuinely think this will be the best wrestled match. I think this is going to be match of the weekend as far as work rate in that ring. Because everybody on this card is fantastic. For the most part, they're all great performers. None of them, in my opinion, out-wrestle Asuka and Io together in a ring. The only guy who comes close to that is Seth, and he ain't doing that with Braun.
I'm going Io, but it's not going to be clean. Because I think that Kyrie does come back and finally turns on Asuka. If WWE is smart, they will bring Kyrie back and finally pull that closure that they should have pulled the trigger on a month ago. And that they should have pulled the trigger on if stuff didn't go down. This would have been bigger 3 weeks ago at Mania. But we didn't get that. But overall, I'm going Asuka, but what I find interesting is the fact that Asuka has made it personal. Wait, no, I'm not going Asuka. I'm going Io. My brain sucks. I literally said that at the beginning of this. But still, there was something that Asuka said on Monday where I look at it, because we didn't go through this segment because it was just a regular video pack. But there was something that Io said on Monday. Not Io. Yeah, I'm mixing it up now. That Asuka said on there. She said, this isn't the same Io in front of me. You're still disrespecting me. But this isn't the same Io that I trained years ago. So Asuka's clearly still trying to make it personal. But knowing Io, she's going to push through that. And I have a feeling like this is going to end that feud for good. And it's going to be via Io Skyway. And Asuka finally getting turned on by Kyrie.
One last thing that I forgot to mention, Mr. Blood earlier brought up John Cena. John Cena is going to be at Backlash. He's been advertised. I'm pretty sure it was made official by the WWE. The guy that supposedly retired not that long ago. Apparently John Cena is going to be there to announce history-making news that supposedly this is the speculation suggests that the news may involve something that's going to improve like the experience for the WWE experience for superstars and fans, which a lot of people think has to do with Club WWE or a new corporate role. Others speculate that he could be the mystery partner for it. No, I don't think he's going to be the mystery partner for Danhausen either. But yeah, what do you guys think this history-making announcement John Cena is going to make at Backlash? What do you guys think that's going to be?
It's either going to be some stupid plug for WWE Club that they're roping viewers in to see John Cena make the announcement. Because we're only going to see him on this show, I'm assuming, twice. Because I think he's hosting Backlash, so we'll see him at the beginning. And then he's going to come out for some announcement in the middle of the card as a break in between matches. And it's either going to be some stupid WWE Club plug thing. It's going to be some really stupid announcement of a PLE tour or a this or a that. or it's going to be some extremely early premature announcement of someone going into the Hall of Fame next year, or it's going to be something like just, oh, hey, by the way, history making. WWE has now officially signed a deal with so-and-so, and now this is going to this, like, oh, like, let's just say hypothetically, SmackDown's going to Netflix, domestically, or, the Saturday night's main event's coming over to Netflix from Peacock. Like, it's going to be something stupid for them to plug their own shit. Call it history making because they think everything they do is history making. I mean, Triple H fucking eats a sandwich and then has ice cream after is history making. So, it's like, I don't care what the announcement is because I don't think it's worth the promise of the paper that they're advertising it. I think it's going to be some bullshit corporate crap where they're like, hey, you know what's history making? The executives woke up this morning. History was made, as was 300% in profit that we took from firing a bunch of your favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, my guess is the fact that this man's voice has been behind plugging on the commercials for it. It's going to be Club WWE, simply because of the fact that, as I just said, it's been John Cena's voice behind it the entire time. Yes, Michael Cole has said, hey, Club WWE is still a thing. You can be a founding member of it. But the commercials are all John Cena. There's that. So it's got to be Club WWE and saying, hey, look, this is how many new members we have of it now. Go join it. It's live. That's probably what that shit's going to end up being, unfortunately, which is only a waste of time for a giant name like John Cena.
All right, well, got a lot of stuff to look forward to for this weekend at Backlash. So that should be exciting. It's going to be a fun weekend, y'all. It's going to be a fun weekend. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Stay tuned because we are going to be doing NXT review up next from this week. The shit that went down at the Performance Center on May 5th. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit. Mr. Blood, if you can take us home, please.
Well, guys, thanks for kicking it with us as always. Of course, that was this episode of Snug Wrestling. That was the May 6th edition. The predictions for this weekend's Backlash. PLE. I almost called it a pay-per-view. Still stuck in the old days. Anyway, guys, if you love hanging out with us, you can do it with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after Monday Night Raw, NXT, and SmackDown go off the air respectively for live post-show reviews. And every Thursday on TikTok Live for myself, Mr. Blood, and the head of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, go one-on-one on TikTok Live for random or relevant wrestling topics for 1 hour. And we also answer your fan questions live. Of course, if you love hanging out with us during the segments, you can always check out our channels. All of our clips are currently up. We will no longer be doing reaction content live during the shows for content due to the current WWE bans on social media for copyright stuff. So we do apologize that content will no longer be a part of the week-to-week part of our show. However, you can still go on to the Blood Drop on TikTok, my new channel, which is in tandem with our main channel, where we get updates weekly or daily, where I go over wrestling news and topics to kind of quell that quench and that thirst that you might have from losing the reaction content. Of course, a new episode went live today talking about the loss of the now live reaction content from content creators via WWE. And of course, you can always support the podcast by heading on over to teepublic.com. That's teepublic.com/snug-wrestling to pick up your Snug Wrestling merch and support your favorite professional wrestling podcast. Well, guys, until next time, stay safe, stay savage, stay snug. We'll see you this weekend for our Backlash review. And of course, Tommy, I said that was one time for the one time. Boy, I said that was
4 letters.
4 letters.
One word.
One word.